Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you a pretty pink cut crease. So stay tuned and enjoy. First, I start off by concealing. You start circles that are in the corner of my eye. Now I'm going to blend it out using my beauty blender, and I alternate between this and a brush, but you can also use your fingers to warm up the product. Just for me today, this is how I'm going to do it. Now set it using a setting powder. Eyebrows are one of those staples in my beauty routine that's non-negotiable. If I'm getting ready in the morning, and honestly I'm not doing a big bold look every day, I will make sure that my eyebrows are done. So I do take a lot of time to do them. I like to start off by lining the bottom portion of my eyebrows and then creating that same outline on the top. Not going too far, not going on either corner, but I create that outline to create the shape that I want to work with. And I just take time filling in the blank spaces in my brows. I like my eyebrows to look natural. So you see me here trying to create like that faux hair look that I'm still getting good at, but it's just to keep them looking more natural, to mimic the actual hair. Here I'm using a flat brush to create a cleaner underbrow. I use Juvia's Place concealer in number 10, and I just use this right under my eyebrow just to make it look a little bit more sharper. I'm also going to take it across the top of my brow just to make my eyebrows look more defined. I am so excited to use this palette, Anastasia's Soft Glam palette. It is so beautiful. I take a neutral color and I'm going to work that all over my lid, especially at the top of my eye. And I'm just going to blend it so it looks almost like my skin complexion, but I want it to be a little darker and at the same time soft around the edges. So I'm going to spend quite a bit of time blended this in. Next, I'm going to use my Danessa Myricks Color Flicks and Plum Wine, and I love her colors. They are very concentrated, so you really have to work this color in. A small amount goes a long way. It is very, again, highly pigmented and concentrated, so just a tiny amount, and work it in. Use your brush just to create the shape that you want. For me today, I'm going for like a cat eye, so I'm going to be sweeping it up and outward into almost like a point. Now I'm going to take that same shade, Plum Wine, and I'm going to work it on my bottom lid. I love these products because they are so creamy, so I'm not even tugging on my lower lid. It's just going on smoothly. I'm going to buff it out, connecting it with the shadow I did up top. Now I'm just working on defining those lines. I'm going to buff out the areas that I don't want to be so prominent. Work on making sure my lines are as precise as possible, and you can work this however you want to. This is the look that I am just choosing to do. But again, these are really, really great products as bases. They stand alone by themselves, so I'm just so in love with them. You're going to see me doing this a lot, blowing out these hard lines to make them a little bit softer, even though later on I am going to create more of a crisp line. I just like it to look really nice and blended. Now I'm going to create my cut crease. And let me tell you, this brush that I started to use, it was a little bit difficult because it wasn't creating my lines. It was firm but a little bit soft. It wasn't creating the lines the way I wanted it to. So I ended up having to switch it out with a smaller, more firm brush. That's the brush I'm using right here. And then I just took that other brush to fill in the spots. So you can notice I'm using that smaller, more firm brush, and it's a lot easier to create the lines that I want for this cut crease. Here I'm going to actually use two colors. I'm using Mulberry from my Soft Glam palette, and I'm going to use Untamed from my Huda Naughty Nudes palette to just create this shadow on the outline of this cut crease to create more depth, make it look a little darker. Here I'm using a color Filthy from my Naughty Nudes palette to fill in the area that I did my cut crease in. Later on, you're going to see that I'm going to also apply two glittery shades, also from that same Naughty Nude palettes, which are Shameless and Irreversible combined. I tried to use a brush, it wasn't going on as I intended, so I used my fingers, which can be great a lot of time for more sparkly or foily shades. Here I'm using Muir from my Soft Glam palette to line my eyes with this angled very thin brush. Liner can be such a love and hate relationship because you do try to create those perfect lines, especially like if you're trying to cat eye. My best advice is take your time, build it up in layers, going from being close to your lash line and moving your way up. You can always clean up any mistakes with a Q-tip. Here I'm lining my lower lids with Mulberry from my Soft Glam palette. I'm not going to use black down here, I just want it to look soft. Now I'm going to highlight my inner corner or my tear ducts with a little bit of my Soft Glam palette, and the color that I used here is called Rose Pink. Now this is where I said I wanted to create that precision at the corner of my eye. So even though I blew out the shadow earlier, right here I do want it to look very asymmetrical. I do want it to look very cut, and to clean that up, I'm just using my concealer and a firm brush with flat bristles. But any firm brush will really do, and just as best as possible, just try to line it up and make your eyes as asymmetrical as possible. Now we're going to work on complexion. I usually do my complexions in 3. So I have a lighter shade for my concealer and highlighting. Then I go into my natural shade, which I apply to, I can either apply this all over my face and then apply the concealer on top. Right here, I'm just doing it in sections, and then I'm going to blend it all in. And then a little bit of contouring around basically the edge of my face in any areas that I want to pull away from, and that's going to be a darker shade. When I set with powder, I do use 2 types of powder. I'll use a darker powder for my natural shades for the contour areas, and then the areas that I highlight, I will use a lighter product like Laura Mercier. Some people use banana powder, but it's just a lighter powder for those more highlighted areas, or translucent powder. Now I'm going to add some mascara to really open up your eyes. You can add some lashes to make your eyes really pop with this look. Thank you so much for watching. I really do hope you enjoyed me putting this look together. Please subscribe, like, and leave a comment in the comment section.